Assassin's Creed in World War II will most likely never happen. I'll tell you why. Stay tuned for that. What's up, guys? I'm Franky Boy. On this channel I am covering everything regarding Assassin's Creed and other open world RPGs such as The Witcher and Cyberpunk, so stay subscribed if you want to. And I just looked back at a stream I did back then in 2020 where I played through Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, and there is a hidden document in the server room of Abstergo, and it shows a file of very high interest regarding potential Assassin's Creed settings, and it's also including info on World War II as a potential or not potential setting for Assassin's Creed as the series, and it's also pierced with Easter eggs, so that's such an interesting document. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and by the way, this footage right here is from Slider V2. He has been playing the Assassin's Creed World War II person. So this document right here, it's in German, but I will just translate it for you guys, and it's about potential time frames for Assassin's Creed games, because in Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag we play in an Abstergo building as an Abstergo game tester. So we are those testers trying out those games for Abstergo. In the game it's marketed as a game as well, and Abstergo can be taken as Ubisoft. Why is that? Because those emails right here, they are from Olivier Garneau, and this is pretty much like Yves Jumeau. You can easily name it that way. And those emails, they are even passed on to Christopher Darby, which is of course a homage to Darby McDavid, writer on Assassin's Creed, and he put this lore into the game. And they are saying, yep, there are so many interesting potential settings. Let's talk about what we can do, what is already done, what will be done, and we have a few potential settings listed up right here in the document. We have Italian Renaissance, the Osmanic Empire, American colonies, New England, America's West, the Holy Land and those Crusades, Egypt and Northern Africa, which will come out, or it came out in 2017, and they already knew that back then when they created Black Flag. Also, we have the French Revolution right here, and it also came out after Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, so a number of new settings were already kind of leaked by themselves. And the interesting part, they also mentioned Japan, or Japan, the Japanese guys, alright. And they said, yep, 14th century, and it will likely come to life pretty soon with Assassin's Creed codename Red. But yeah, we will talk about World War II right now, because that's the most interesting part in this document. But I also want to highlight that they also put out some of those settings that already came out, and it was true. And yeah, then we have someone telling in an email, yep, I had some family members fighting in those world wars and also in some different situations. Jeanne d'Arc was a theme as well. And then we have some potential artworks here for World War II and the pyramids. So I went on in this file and scrolled down. Can't believe this is already 4 years ago on my German Twitch account. And by the way, if you don't know, I'm a German creator known for Assassin's Creed content over there in Germany. So yeah, that's why I streamed 4 years ago. Right, that's the juicy part right here. Abstergo, or in this situation Ubisoft, says, yep, a Second World War experience might be entertaining for those people playing it. We should totally avoid settings with cars, motorbikes, helicopters, tanks, etc. So they should not implement it. And why is that? I mean, in my opinion, it just makes sense. How would you argue against someone in a tank when you yourself are only weaponized with a hidden blade and nothing else, or maybe some tools, maybe you have like a lockpick, etc. But yeah, I can't imagine playing an assassin with an automatic rifle or so. It just wouldn't make sense in my opinion. While we know the conflict of Templars and Assassins is still going in modern day, this wouldn't make sense gameplay wise, because Assassin's Creed is all about like history, yeah, and that's history too, of course, but I wouldn't say modern history, but more the history that is far more away from us time-wise. And putting an assassin in such a setting is more like putting out a new Splinter Cell game in my opinion, because it would only make sense if you like really play those stealthy passages and not try to be like open fields RPG style in a vast open world with tanks everywhere exploring that. I think it wouldn't make sense. Now, why is that? Abstergo in the game explains it like this. They say there's a semi-catatonic disease that would kind of prevent those guys from using those vehicles in the games. They say, yup, it will damage them, and we have to make that possible at first to even like let them drive a car, etc. And they say there are better ways to get the feeling of driving a car. I mean, yeah, we have racing games and cars. Just sit and drive yourself. While this doesn't make sense in terms of Ubisoft, it's an in-game, in-lore explanation why there are no Assassin's Creed games from Abstergo, but it also makes sense for Ubisoft in my opinion, because having an assassin in a car or having an assassin like driving tanks or just things like that is way too modern in my opinion for a game that's about history, blades, etc. and the Brotherhood. I could of course like see myself in an underground organization trying to beat those World War II guys that started it. I'm not gonna spell it out because I'm not sure if YouTube reacts in a different way than it normally would to my videos, but you guys totally know who I mean. And it would be interesting to kind of end World War II as an assassin against the Templars. I mean, that's just a part of the history and it would make sense to put it in that kind of context. But the gameplay itself, it might be too modern in my opinion. And yeah, the in-game lore, it says vehicles, they don't make sense, like modern vehicles, of course, motorized ones, not riding a horse or camel such as Bayek did. And I can totally see like a potential World War II thing in Assassin's Creed Infinity as a mini DLC or maybe as a modern day part, where the modern day is also historic setting. But leaks right now tend to show that the new Assassin's Creed modern day part will be in the future. So it would be like a 2050, 2070, 2100 setting and not a past one for the modern day person. And I think it was quite interesting to put those kind of settings as a mini gimmick into other games. And I would like to see that in the future as well. And I would also like to see like an Assassin's Creed in World War II, of course, but I think like the resources for new Assassin's Creed games, they might be better at some other place where it's a real historic setting. Here is some more footage of Assassin's Creed in World War I, and I just think that doesn't match the theme of the games enough to be put in them, and it would totally like destroy the DNA of the idea of Assassin's Creed in the first place. Because in the first place it was about blades, brotherhood, stealth gameplay, and I think it would kind of change if we put it in another direction. Yet I'm super happy that I found this file again in those streams right here. And yet another interesting part is that I did a survey back then on what setting you would like, and it was 2020, just remember that. And we had 50% of the guys vote for Assassin's Creed in Japan. Then we had 20% almost voting for ninjas, which is almost the same. It could be kind of connected, and then it adds up to 70%, which is quite huge. So World War II was only requested by 15%. So I think Ubisoft has already thought about this a lot of times, and they might change their opinion. I think they just hid it in the game file to make it clear for the fans, the hardcore fans that really dig into the files, but to not exclude this option forever, but more to like give an explanation why they didn't release that yet. I'm super curious about which kind of settings we will see in the future from Ubisoft. We will of course see Red in Japan, we will see China with Jade, we will of course have Hexe, which might be in Germany, in my home country, and then I will present you guys those places that we can visit in Assassin's Creed Codename Hexe in real life. At least that's my plan, and I think they will likely go to Cologne, because in Assassin's Creed Valhalla we found some files of assassins going to Cologne, which is of course a city I once lived in. I lived there for more than 2 years, I think. And yeah, let me know what you think in the comments about this potential setting. Might not come to life at all, but it's an interesting setting and an interesting topic to talk about, at least I think, and the Abstergo file is super interesting in my opinion. So tell me your thoughts in the comment. Check out that video where we talk about Assassin's Creed, or this one which will be recommended for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and goodbye.